Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Has life gotten worse? Every time you miss the past, you are viewing life with Stevie Wonder vision, meaning you are blind to negativity in your past. You only remember the positivity, making a constant comparison of your past positivity to the present. Last night was a movie. You know, maybe you did truly prefer the past, but it's very subjective. A lot of nostalgia bait memes follow the same pattern. They all view the past with Stevie Wonder vision as well to 4 years ago. Bro, COVID? Huh? You enjoyed lockdown? If you feel this way, your brain is not only undeveloped, but you're a sewer-dwelling abomination outcast freak. You need to be studied, you little ape. How the fuck do you have nostalgia for the worst period in recent human history? I've seen a lot of memes recently of people wanting to go back to lockdown in 2020 like it was some sort of life highlight they miss. I don't know how people now fantasize about going back into lockdown. Like, how is your life that dull that you want lockdown again? I know monkeypox is on the rise, but how are you living in a state where you want lockdown again? The problem with this topic is that it's always so vague, as everyone is nostalgic for different ages and different time periods. It is also subjective for what every person prefers, and then somewhat objective, with things like career opportunities and quality of life changes globally. The penultimate truth is, life is probably better now, but for different reasons. I cannot speak for your own unique experience, obviously, but I will speak from mine and try to establish common ground that other people burdened with being British, who are also in their 20s, may agree with. You don't understand the weight of the curse that being British bears on my shoulders.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
The UK is depressing. This bland, grey-scaled, thrift store-filled, low-fantasy looking place called Britain is possibly the most neutral, uninteresting country on the whole planet. Excluding the nuclear wasteland of Birmingham, all of the UK is developed, which is incredible. You can go anywhere and it's safe and has good infrastructure. Except for the fact that 70% of this country is just farmland. Literally 70% of the UK is used for farming. And we have a service economy. Contrary to popular belief, you can actually enter London without getting immediately stabbed. London is a great city with countless things to do, and is nothing like the stereotypes you might hear if you're not from England. Listen, I was born in Croydon, so I made it out the mud before my family moved away from there. I am not just spreading London propaganda. I think you should go there for a week and enjoy the city. You might even become British pilled, and see why this country is great, but also very uninteresting even though there is so much to do here. Influencers seem to romanticize London, but it's just a big city that offers a lot, but it's crazy expensive. Like bro, you're not going to go to Camden and find yourself there, but you will probably see some homeless guys stealing from Poundland, which is British cultural enrichment. One of the things that has changed is the gradual increase in violent crime in recent years. So London has gotten worse because of that, but it mostly doesn't affect people who aren't involved in gangs. Thank you Drake and Top Boy for influencing teenagers into idolising gangs and stabbing each other. Outside of London and other big cities, COVID pretty much destroyed economies in all small towns, so the only stores that exist now in most places are fucking thrift stores. Imagine leaving your orange brick house to walk down a shitty pebble and tarmac street under a grey dark blanket sky to go to a thrift store selling suit jackets old people have died in. And limited edition 2000s Monopoly games. This is the British cultural experience. There isn't much casual stuff to do in the UK outside of big cities and towns, which is not an issue when you're young, but only when you're older, as your social needs change. But at least we are free to do and say whatever we want. Never mind. Due to inflation, the cost of living crisis and the housing crisis, young people cannot afford to move out as early anymore. It is now common for young people to live at their parents' house until they are 30, which is just diabolical. Housing is so expensive that even if I sold pictures of my perfect feet online, it would not be enough to even afford a closet apartment in London. I would need a whole foot farm operation going, on some Andrew Tate foot trafficking shit. Not having access to your own private space is a huge negative, as you cannot have friends around to your parents' house when you're like 30. But the only other alternative is to go out to bars and clubs to socialise if you're not doing it online. The one issue is that these places are so expensive for drinks that you will have to sell them your kidneys to get out the debt of buying 2 double vodka and cokes. No one can afford that shit. It's too much and no one gets paid enough, especially the broke early 20-year-olds that nightlife is targeted at. I went out to a bar last week and I paid £6 for one Guinness. That's $7.90 for Americans. Bro, the worker should have just slapped me across the mouth, pulled my trousers down and rolled my light-skinned ass over the bar to let me know I'm his bitch. I didn't even like Guinness and this man just stole my money then abused me. The price of everything is increasing, but the amount of money people earn isn't, so no one can risk enjoying life because they might not be able to eat if they do. It's like living in prime Soviet Union. The lethal combo of low wages and a high cost of living is the main issue Gen Z is facing for the future. And with things continuing as they have been for the past 4 years, it's understandable that more and more people are willing to start an OnlyFans to make extra money. I'm just saying, if I was a woman, best believe I'd be running 50-year-old guys' pockets for anything. You can have the syrupy foot pic, just send me 300. Yeah, I would take the trade-off of selling my feet to live a nice life. Maybe then I'd be able to afford a new build house and a shitty soulless cul-de-sac where I can pay for a house that has a literal advertisement on it. I love the UK. A big part of life for most people is media. From music to film, we as a society love to consume. Anything that gives instant dopamine to make you feel comfortable is beloved, especially by Gen Z. The rise of short-form content has led to an overall decline in attention spans, reading comprehension, and information accuracy. This is all from engagement and information condensation, meaning content is compressed to a point that key information is lost just so the consumer chimp brain will watch and give the creator money. This stuff is no secret by now. Young people act knowing the negative effects of all of these things, but continue to engage in destructive habits as they feel good and are convenient for them. 5 years ago, before TikTok's meteoric rise, this was not a big problem. But with every platform jumping on TikTok's dick by implementing their own version of TikToks, this plague has spread like monkeypox in a... I was advised not to finish that joke. Media quality hasn't necessarily declined, but more people have shifted to watching mostly short-form content, meaning that more traditional media forms are not as embedded in culture as they used to be. Everything culturally has become short trends that last a matter of weeks or even days, until a new, funny trend comes around and erases the previous one from everyone's minds. We have truly, as a species, all become bugs, consuming anything put in front of us by the algorithms. The biggest thing that makes life seem worse now is the fact that you're probably growing up. Probably. Nostalgia always makes you feel like the past was better. You only get first experiences once, and when you know less and have done less, things feel more special and meaningful, giving them more sentimental value. Like, I still remember the first time boofing heroin with homeless guys when I was 13. Like, that's one of my fondest memories. A lot of your favourite memories always come from childhood or your teenage years, as everything was new to you then. If you have lived a normal life, you would have experienced most normal things in your teenage years or childhood, so you're just used to it. Gen Z as a group love nostalgia. There are so many nostalgia bait accounts and content we consume daily. I guarantee if you open up TikTok or Reels right now and scroll 10 Reels, you'll get something to do with nostalgia. Unless you have some unhinged schizo Indian car crash algorithm, which I keep seeing people get on Instagram Reels. Instagram's algorithms are another level of fucked up. I swear to God, it's the only platform you can scroll through and see like back-to-back car crash videos. It's so unhinged and crazy it's allowed to be pushed out like that. Like, if you want to look at that stuff, you're probably ill, for one.
Nah, bro, it just makes me smile. I don't know why it's so cool.
It's not that bad, King.
Not true, and it's not my fault.
And just go to chaotic. Why does it need to be on Instagram? Aesthetically, things have changed massively over the past couple decades, as more corporate and soulless art styles and architecture have been adopted, and the visual styles we grew up with are slowly replaced and forgotten. People are still clinging on to them. The Y2K trend is a huge showing of this, with fashion, music and other media forms mimicking the 2000s in a glamorized and modernized way. It's constantly being replicated in new ways, as young people seem to love this type of aesthetic. People don't want to move on from the past, and that is probably true for most generations. I mean, the stereotype of a millennial is that there's some grown guy who still loves to play Sonic 2 and other games from their childhood in the 90s. The same will probably be said about Gen Z with shit like Minecraft or Terraria, or maybe World of Warcraft if you've never had contact with a woman. Everyone online is so crazy judgmental of other generations, but just let people have their fun. You will be in the exact same position one day when you get old and boring, If everything is slowly becoming more jaded as things go on, maybe things are getting worse in some ways, but you're also probably just growing up. You are becoming the Squidward you always thought was boring. Thank you for watching, it's really appreciated. If you could like, comment, subscribe and share this video please, as the YouTube algorithms hate me. They don't push my videos out to anyone. Like, I'm pretty sure they are literally targeting me. They have a death ray pointed at my house. But yeah, the algorithms hate me. Please engage with what I post to help boost me. It's really appreciated. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.